I'm Jim Ross. He's Matt Van Horn. And this is the 3 Mile Domination Podcast.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for another episode here of 3 Mile Domination Podcast. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Hanging in there. It's been a long week, but no, all's good. So, anyway, we were discussing earlier what we want to talk about here, and I think it's all important, but sometimes overlooked aspect of just drive-by traffic and drive-by impressions when the customer's checking out your site. So, go ahead. Anyone talk about that one? So, floor is yours.
Well, yeah, and I think this is something we should really discuss. I mean, if your property looks like a junkyard, it's going to be treated that way. I really believe that first impressions are huge. I'm not saying it's the only thing. I'm not saying if someone comes in and gets an initial bad impression, you won't be able to rent to them if they come in. But I really, truly believe that having your property outside, looking nice makes a huge difference. I mean, I'm down here in Florida, and, one of the big things down here in keeping your properties nice, just, from drive-by perspective, is keeping your lawn cut. Get your lawn guy out there, get him cutting the lawn, get him doing the weed eating, getting him to, do weed control and things like that to make the outside look nice is a huge thing down here. I mean, it's something I negotiate, every year to get these things done. So just like, you guys out there in the colder climates where you have to get your snow removed out of your property, I actually have to spend a lot of my time getting, make sure the lawns are cut. So that's a huge thing.
Don't remind me about snow.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
About that right now.
I'm telling you. I mean, and other things too. I mean, and it's simple things, not expensive stuff. I mean, getting the lawn cut, making sure your sign is accurate. I can't tell you how many times I see stuff on signs where letters are missing or numbers are missing. I mean, there's all kinds of funny things about storage, elf storage, with signs, with lights out, things like that. I mean, all kinds of crazy things I've seen. The other thing is, paint your Ballard posts. I mean, or order the plastic covers. They're not that expensive. I can't tell you how many times.
While you're on the topic, I just did that for one of my sites in Yuma, and we're talking, man, it was like 22 Ballard posts altogether that we ordered.
Right.
And it was minimal. And we did the plastic ones. Yeah. And you can't believe it's such a simple little item that we made a world of difference when you're looking at it. So. I'll endorse those plastic Ballard posts all day long. It was cheap and it was easy and it looks great.
Yeah, how much nicer it makes your property look. I mean, not all of us have the money to run out there and do a new blacktop or something on the asphalt. That I get. But, there are simple little things that we can do. For example, the parking lines. Go out there and have those repainted and rehighlighted. That makes it look really, really nice. Other simple things. Walk around your property and pick up trash. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a property and I've gone in the back and it looks like somebody threw a kegger back there. It's unbelievable. You can't have that. Go around. Paint the simple things, not just the Ballard posts, but doors. And I'm not talking about the roll-up doors, but I'm talking about your hallway doors, things like that. Sweep out your hallways. If there's a dead bug in there, get it out of there. Nobody wants to see it. I mean, I'm glad it's a dead bug. That's good. That means the extermination's working. But still, nobody wants to see that when they're thinking about storing their grandmother's 90-year-old antique furniture. Nobody wants to think about that. Clean your office. I mean, this is another thing that just drives me insane. Your office can't look like somebody rolled a grenade in there. It needs to look enticing, appealing, that somebody trusts you with their life belongings. You need to clean your office. If you have animals in your office, get them out of there. And I understand. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I understand that, everybody, I love animals. I have 2 dogs, love them to death, but I don't want them in my office. For one, I'm afraid that, if the wrong person were to come in and somebody were to snap at, one of the dogs were to snap at somebody, the insurance wouldn't like that at all. But not just that, it's just not the place for them. And, a lot of times I talk to people, I visited managers and all of a sudden these little animals become, the unofficial facility mascot or something like that. And you just can't have that anymore in this day and age. You've got to, remove the animals from the office. Clean up your paper. It can't look like, again, somebody threw a grenade in your office. Clean the floor. Mop it. Go outside, clean your doors, pull weeds. A lot of times, as much as I pay for lawn care, and they're really, really good, every once in a while I see a weed popping up, next to a door or something through the concrete, around the concrete. Pull it out. Make sure it's good. Make sure the property's draining correctly. All these small little things that make a huge, big difference on impressions when somebody walks into your property. It's just insane. Clean your windows. The small things make a difference.
That what makes a huge difference. And the thing is, I want to overwhelm people. We're naming all these things to look at, but create a checklist. I mean,
right.
as dumb as it sounds, of like clean the windows or wash this and sweep the hallways. If you have a checklist, you're not going to overlook it, because you'll be amazed if you don't have a system in place. It's been 3 months since you wiped down a hallway door or swept that unit out or put out bait traps or something like that. It's amazing how time flies. So just put a system in place of having a maintenance checklist, and these items will just take care of themselves. And again, I think the bottom line of this whole discussion is just have some frickin' pride in your facility. If you have pride in your site, everything else is going to follow.
Right, and then with a checklist like you're talking about, not all of these things have to be done every day. And that's the thing about it. I think a lot of times I want to clean my property, but I don't even know where to start. There's just so much to do, or managers are just so busy, and they are. I mean, our managers work really, really hard, and they're really, really busy. And, to sit there, and then all of a sudden, by the time things calm down, they sit down, they look at it, and they're like, well, where do I even start? I think having a checklist and separating it out, taking things in small chunks, not all at once, will really, really help you as the year goes on. I mean, nobody's saying you have to sweep hallway A every 3 hours. That's not what anybody's saying. But they can't look like, somebody mowed the lawn inside of it. It's got to be cleaner than that. So, we understand how busy people are, because Jim and I are busy on a daily basis, insanely busy. But these few things need to get done on a regular basis, because you can't turn people off, as they're walking into your property. And if you can, subcontract some of this stuff out. I know some people don't want to spend money on certain things, but, it doesn't cost that much to have somebody come in and pressure clean something. It doesn't have someone cost that much to, do a number of different projects on the property if you just don't have time to do it yourself. So take that into consideration when you're looking at doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you allocate the time, and again, like I said, don't do it all at once. Just allocate, 30 minutes a day if you can, and do these little things like this, and it'll add up. I'm lucky enough where I'm here in Salt Lake, and I have quite a few facilities in close proximity to each other. And I was actually able to hire a maintenance worker that, again, we allocate just a couple hours a week, and he just goes around to each site and does the miscellaneous things that, again, it doesn't take long to do, but we put the systems in place to make sure it gets done. You stay on top of everything. Everything looks nice and clean. The lights are all working properly, and it's nice. But again, you don't have to have that luxury if you're kind of a flying solo and you're a one-man show at your site. Just have a system in place where during this time, this part of the day, that's what you're doing is walk around your site and do these little maintenance things, and don't do it all at once. Spread it out, and it'll take care of itself. And while we're on the topic of checklists and of course maintenance, I invite anyone to, if they'd like to have a sample checklist that we use, we'll email it out to you. Just email us at info@3miledomination.com, and we'll get it out to you. And that way you'll have it in front of you and just follow that, and you'll be ahead of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the longer we do this podcast and the more stable it becomes on the internet there, we'll start posting some of the stuff online where people can download it rather than emailing us. We're getting there, guys. But, for the most part, yeah, it's real simple, just taking small chunks. I mean, even if you bring out a plastic bag with you while you're doing your lock checks on your golf cart, you see some junk on the ground, just stop and pick it up and throw it in the back. The other thing that I like to do at my stores is to have, if you have units that are available to be ready to be rented. I used to, because it's very hard for a set of managers to clean out every unit all the time. I mean, it's impossible. You can't do it. But if you were to take, let's say, one or two units in each of the size classes, specifically the ones that are the most popular, and just go out and pre-clean them. And those are the ones you show people when they come to rent. And that's what you want. So you have, so you're not taking all of this on you all at once. You can separate it out, but the customer doesn't know what your other 400 units look like. I mean, just get a couple of them clean, and if they do want another one, well, then make sure that one's sparkling clean before they move in. It's not real hard, but, I've seen so many properties where, things just aren't fixed, and all of a sudden it becomes that almost like a broken window theory. Like if you have, for example, if you have like a warehouse and someone throws a stone through it and nobody repairs it, well, everybody drives by, oh, look, there's a broken window, and then all of a sudden it becomes normal. And then 3 days later, there's another broken window. And then 4 days later, part of the siding's coming off. And all of a sudden this stuff becomes progressive and we get used to it and we stop doing it, but then somebody who comes in from the outside looks at it and just turns them off, and you don't want that to have happen.
Nope. And it's, I'm not going to name names, but there's a few sites I've gone to lately, not mine, but some competitors that I'm glad they're competitors because there's no way in hell I'd ever rent there because they look trashy. I was walking around, there's bird nests in the gutters, and there was trash all over. And again, this comes back to having pride in the facility. And of course, we're all talking, the whole point of us doing this is we want to help the owners make more money. They want to be more profitable. That's the bottom line. And so if you make your facility look more inviting, nice and clean, that's going to lead to more rentals. So if nothing else, there's a motivation. Clean facility equals more money. There you go.
But it's also a USP. If you're selling your property against your competition, and your competition looks like a bomb went off in it, and they come and visit yours, and it's that much nicer and friendlier and inviting. Well, that's a part of the battle. I don't know half the battle, but that's part of the battle right there of gaining someone's confidence to want to use your product, specifically with storage. Because, we all talk storage, like I said this before, we talk storage like it's second nature. To most people, it's not. And, their fear is storing their goods and having something happen to them, and they want a place where it's secure and where the manager seems competent and all these other things. And obviously it has to be competitively priced. But I really think that price, as long as it is competitive and you're not completely out of orbit there, that's going to be a secondary concern. It's really about, do I feel comfortable putting my belongings into your property? And I think, if the more inviting it is, the easier it is for the customer to answer that question.
No, of course. That's what it goes down to. Well, good. I think we've covered that topic pretty thoroughly. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we've hit that one pretty well.
Oh, perfect. Well, again, thank you for joining us here, and we'll keep these coming out every week. Thanks so much, guys.
Absolutely.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the 3 Mile Domination Podcast. Please check us out at our website, 3miledomination.com, where you can download our free ebook, connect with us on all the social media platforms, and to subscribe to this podcast. Please spread the word to those you think that will benefit from this show. Just don't tell your competitors. Thanks again.